Here's how the marking system works. So first we need to understand that there are 4 suits in the deck. So there's spades, clubs, hearts and diamonds. So we'll just focus on one suit for now. So in each suit there are 13 cards. Ace, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to king. So this deck is pretty special because it kind of serves 2 functions. It animates kind of as a mark deck, so you guys have all seen this before, and that then doubles up as a marking system. So how the marking system works is, if you see this this cog, it's going to turn. So for each suit it will turn a quarter turn. So that means when all the suits are put together, then you'll get this animation. But what is actually happening is that the cogs are only ever turning a quarter turn, so it's a 13 card repeating system. There's a few key cards and we need to understand this first. So if you imagine this is ace and we're going to go all the way to king. So if they're stacked from ace on the top, 2, 3, 4, 5, the cogs are going to turn to the left. If they're stacked king, queen going down to ace, then the cogs are going to turn to the right. So we got them stacked from ace downwards to king here. So both the aces and the kings, sorry that's an ace, aces and the kings are in a vertical cog orientation. And this is so the animation works perfectly and we've got a split midpoint and such like this. So the middle card is a 7. So if you imagine there's 13 cards, so if you split that in 2, there's going to be 6 cards with 1 in the middle. So you've got 6 cards either side with 1 in the middle. So this is kind of quite key to this. So like I say, the aces and the kings are in a vertical configuration and there is a distinction between these. All the cards have got this white pip in a quite a square configuration. So I'll draw this for you quickly. So all the cards, if you imagine that's square, these pips here for every card is in a square configuration, and then the only card that has a difference is the ace, where this pip is in kind of like a diamond configuration. So that really helps to pick out the ace. So it's the best card in the deck and we've given it this kind of really key marker, so it's really easy to spot. So basically what happens is we're going to go a quarter turn. So this pip is going to go and it's going to turn to replace this pip, and this pip is going to turn to replace this pip. So we're going to go round to the left. Once we're going round to the left and we hit the midpoint, which is the 7, you can see this is in exactly kind of 45 degrees. These cog orientations in 45 degrees. So that makes sense because it's in the middle. So let me just show you quickly. So we're going to go down here. So if I deal these cards, watch them turn to the left. So we start with ace, we're going to go 2, so you can see it's turned 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we're going to hit the midpoint 7 where they're exactly 45 degrees, and now we're going to go over to the other side, 8, 9, 10, jack, so we're coming back up to vertical now, queen, king. So I'll do those down quickly and you should see these turn the opposing way now. So queen, queen, jack, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ace. So you can see how that roughly works. So that's the first thing you need to understand. Now we can kind of get into identifying each card based on its value, and there's a couple of things you can look out for and a few pointers. So the ace, really easy. The cogs are in vertical, kind of a vertical orientation, and that pip is turned into a diamond. So the ace you can always spot. Same goes with a king. It's exactly the same as the ace, but like I said, that the white pip is in its normal configuration. So ace and kings, no worries, you can get those. For the 2 we're going to work round. So the 2, you can see it's just off vertical, and then we're going to get the queen. So I'm going to show you these in opposing cards. So this is a 2 and this is a queen. So we've got the queen and we've got the 2 here. So hopefully they're lined up enough on the camera. So you can see the queen goes to the, sorry, if you guys look at this cog, this will make more sense. So the queen is going to go to the right, one click, and the 2 is going to go to the left, one click. So here we've got the 3 and the jack. So you can see these cards are exactly the same, they're just kind of mirror images of each other. So the jack is going to come to the left 2 clicks, and the 2 is going to go, the jack's going to go to the right 2 clicks, and the 2 is going to go to the left 2 clicks. And now we're going to get into this secondary white spot. So initially you're going to be looking at this top part just to see where roughly that is. Is it to the left or the right of vertical? And you can see this has gone to the right of vertical, and then the next thing to look at is this white pip here. So that's quite close to this mid circle. So that's a jack, and what we're seeing a little bit of space there. So when you remember the jack, it's then easy to remember the opposite. So you'll see once you practice with this, you can pick this up. So let's go for 4 and 10. So you can see here we've gone another click over. This white spot is close to this mid circle, and the same on this side. So that's it. Initially you'll see this is gone over to the right, and then you're going to look for this white spot as your kind of confirmation as to what card it is. So here we're going to go for 5, and we're going to go for 9. So these are quite easy to spot because you can see this has gone over, sorry, here, this has gone over to the right, this has gone over to the left, and then you look for this spot next. You see this one is quite distinguishable because it's kind of half and half under this mid circle. So anytime you see where this is half and half under, you know it's a 9 if it's gone over to the right, or you know it's a 5 if it's gone over to the left. So it's quite an easy one to spot. Here, where we're looking at, so yeah, we've got 8 and we've got 6. So these are also quite easy because they look like they're almost 45 degrees. And then the thing to tell these apart is you can see this, we can't see the white spot, but we can see some of the black of the cog section here. So whenever you see that cog section here, if you see it to the right side, you know it's an 8. And if you see it to the left side, then you know it's a 6. Because it's almost 45 degrees. I can't quite tell if it's a 6 or an 8. Then you just look for this black part here. So if it's on the left hand side, it's 6. If it's on the right hand side, it's an 8. And then we've got the 7 card, which splits these. So I'll run through this one more time, and I'll give you some hints as to how to distinguish a card as we go along. Some of the key features for each card. So the king is really easy. The cogs are in a vertical kind of position. The pips are in the standard formation. So that's the king. So now we're going to look at the queen. So the queen, we look at this card, it's gone over to the right hand side. This pip has moved down a fraction, but there's still some space. We see some space between the centre point and this pip. So the queen, easy to spot, it's nearly vertical, but it's just gone over to the right by 1. Here we go, here's the jack. You can see it's fairly vertical, but it's moved over more to the right now. And now this white pip here is getting close to this centre circle. It's not quite touching. The black background behind the white is not quite touching, so that's a jack. That's quite easy to spot. It's nearly vertical, but this pip is near the centre circle. Now we're going to go to the 10. You can see it's gone a little bit more past centre now, and this white pip is pretty much bang on next to this circle, so that's a 10. So that's a really easy one to spot as well because of this white pip here. Now we're going to go to the 9. It's kind of even easier to see because this white pip has gone halfway behind that. And like I say, on the other side, when it gets to a 5, it will be the same as this because yeah, we've got 7, 8, 9, or we've got 7, 6, 5. So hopefully this is starting to make sense now. So now we're going to go to 8. So we're nearing 45 degrees. The white pip has disappeared behind the circle. So anytime the pip disappears behind the circle, you can look for the black part of the cog. If it's on the right hand side, it's an 8. If it's on the left hand side, it's a 6. So now we've reached 45 degrees. we can't see any of the pips or the cogs behind this circle, so that's the clear way to tell the 7. The cog is in exactly 45-degree orientation, so that's a really easy card to spot. Now we're going to go starting to move down the other side. So it looks looking at this card, it looks kind of vertical, but I can't see any pips, but I can see a bit of that black cog, and it's to the left hand side as I look at the card, so that's a 6 and it's not an 8 because it's this side. If it was that side it would be an 8. So we're going to go here, so 5, like I say, it's opposite to the 9 because we've got half of this white pip poking out behind the circle on the left hand side, easy to spot. Here we go, 4. Again, this is kind of opposite to the 10. So the white spot here is just see the whole white spot, and it's bang on tight to the centre circle. So moving back up now, here we've got the 3. So again, it looks like it's close to vertical, but this is opposite to the jack, so we can see the white spot is coming away from the circle now, and we just start to see a bit of background. 2, really easy to spot, same as the queen, but on the other side. So really close to vertical, and this white spot has come away from the circle now. And then the 1, which is the ace, we're back up to vertical, and the pips are in this diamond configuration. So that's it in a nutshell really, that's how to read the cards. I'll go through this again. So ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, queen, king. Let's have a quick bit of practice. So I'll give these 13 cards a shuffle and a cut, so they're kind of not in order anymore. And let's go. So if I put that card down, what would that be? So we're looking where this and this is. So that's a 9. Hopefully you got that one. Let's have a look at this one. That's a 10, and that's because this white spot is really close to that circle. This is off to the right, so that's a 10. So make sure this is coming out. So let's have a look at this one. What would you say that is? So first thing I would do is look at these and say, well, that's really near 45 degrees, and I can see a little bit of the black cog to this side, so that's going to be an 8. If it was this side it would be a 6, so that card is an 8. Let's have a look at maybe this one. So first thing I'd say is this cog is kind of near a vertical, but it's moved over to this side, and this white spot is bang on this circle. So I remember from this side, if the white spot was bang on, it would be a 10. So on this side it's going to be a 4. So this is a 4, that's how to spot a 4. Here we've only gone kind of 1 click over to the left, so that would be a 2. This card, very easy to spot, that's an ace. This card, very easy to spot, that is a king. What's this one? So that is a 7, because it's in a 45 degrees, so that's a 7. So which one's this? So if we have a look here, it's moved over to the right, 1 click, so this is a queen. This one, remember I said we've got a 9 on this side if the little white pip is kind of half hidden, so on this side you can remember 9 to 5, and then this is a 5, that's really easy to spot. This one, so we've moved over, it's nearly vertical, and we've moved over to the right, but it's gone over a couple of clicks, and this white pip is just away from here. So I remember if the white pip is really close to this circle, or halfway underneath, we've got a 10 and a 9, so it's just come up the other way, so this is going to be a jack. Last one. These ones are probably, to begin with, they'll be most difficult for you, but then eventually they'll become the most easiest. So, because first thing to look at is it's nearly 45 degrees, but then I'm looking for this black cog, so I can't see any of the white pips behind this main circle, but I can see a bit of this black cog, and it's over to the left hand side. So if it was over to the right hand side, so we've got 7, which is exactly 45 degrees. So if you can see a bit of the black to the right hand side, it would be an 8. So opposite card to the 8 would be a 6, because we can now see this bit on this side. So there you go, hopefully that makes sense. So with both the VR2 and the metallic decks, we've got a suit indicator as well. So the first mechanic deck was only value, but like I say, we've improved and improved on each iteration, and I'll take you through the shiner deck. And this is really easy to spot. Like, this takes literally a few minutes to understand and be able to do. So I've drawn it here for you just to make it really clear, because I don't know how clear this will be on the camera. So we've got a screw in multiple positions on each card here, so I'll just kind of probably flash up where the points are on the video with some graphics, and that determines what the suit is, the screw. So the clubs are vertical, so these points here, and they're actually kind of littered all around as well. So if you see the screw and it's vertical, then you know that's a club. Let's find a spade for you quickly. So spade here, you can see that is 45 degrees off to the right, so that's a spade. Very simple. Heart is easy to remember because it's horizontal, so heart is horizontal. And a diamond is diagonal, but the opposite way, so it's diagonal to the left. So that's how you tell the suits very easily. So kind of still does this kind of rotation, so you've got club, spades, heart, diamond, and they can be found in multiple locations, and they're relative to the kind of vertical of the cog, if you spot it in there. So a good way to read this is, so that's a 7, and I don't need to start looking over there, so I don't look there for the suit and then look at the cog orientation. If I see that's 45 degrees, I know that's a 7. I look at the screw and I see that that's diagonal to the left, so I know it's a diamond. So I know that's a 7 of diamonds. So that's how you'll start to get to read these with a little bit of practice. So that's how to determine the suit. This is a genuine cut and a genuine shuffle deck of playing cards. So in the next video, we're going to show you how a card cheat could use this marking system to gain an unfair advantage at the card table. So using this marking system mixed with a bit of sleight of hand, you can see you can deal yourself a very good starting hand. So we're going to get into this and also how to use the system to influence every part of the game.